good, hasn't it?
Beautiful.
Hey everybody, it's Peter and Sal here for the weekly wrap up. So here we are on this wonderful, wonderful Sunday. Hello, how are you all? Hey Sal, how are you doing today?
Hi, Peter. Good, thank you. Hello, everybody. How is everyone doing? We are good.
I'm sure I'm sure that they're doing absolutely fabulous because today is the first day of our 12-minute 12 days of Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is that all about? It's over in our free group, Women Over 50, Get Active and Healthy. And what we've got you doing is we've given you the choice. You can do 12 minutes of exercise each day, or you can do 12 minutes of me time each day. And some of the ladies have gone, guess what? I'm going to do both. And I'm thinking, oh, this is so exciting. So some of the women have actually checked in already. Have you noticed that, Sel?
I noticed that Diane and Alison both checked in, which is wonderful.
Yeah, that's right. And Diane even shared a photo. And guess what she shared a photo of? Something that you want to give a
I
shout out for. So why don't we
said
roll straight into the shout
into that
out?
shout out. I saw that. So during the week I've been working with Diane on perfecting her lunges, and I want to
Hmm.
shout out to her because it was wonderful to see that Diane was listening to the tips. She
Mm-hmm.
was
Yep.
taking the tips on board, and then during each session that I was working with her, you could see the focus and the concentration of putting into action each of those steps. And so Friday we had a ladder workout, and there was 8 sets I think we ended up doing, and I was
Mm.
very focused. I was focused on Diane, but we do focus on all our ladies. But I was paying particular attention to Diane, and my shout out is every single rep in all 8 sets was perfect.
Right.
In the lunge,
Awesome.
yeah, it was amazing. It was beautiful to watch, and I wasn't quick enough to get a photo, but I love that she put that photo up this morning. And you could see
Mm.
even that little, the little things where, at one point it was her balance. So I suggested bringing her shoulders back and down because that was straightening her
Yeah.
spine then, and you could see in the
Yes.
next rep, perfect, because she would take that on board, stepping back onto
Hmm.
her toes rather than a flat foot and going up, took that on
Yeah.
board, focusing on that back knee. And it was just wonderful to watch. So she's my shout out.
And ladies, we will actually say that Diane started with us at the young age of 78. So
Yes.
she's been with us 12 months, and she recently sent a beautiful email into us of all the things that she has achieved. And it was really interesting that she said, this mightn't be big stuff for other people, but it is certainly big stuff for me. So, and she
Yes.
does deserve the recognition because there are so many of us who, might be in our 40s or our 50s, who are scared to start or just go, I just don't have any idea what to do, or I'm going to be left behind because everybody else is so much further advanced. And that's when it's really important to find, the right place for you. So you do your research and
We
find the
do.
right place.
And the
Yeah,
thing the
come
thing
to
too with
come on.
Diane is that she's had a
Mm,
few aches and pains. So she may have 2 or 3 weeks off, but
mm,
she always comes back and she listens to
yeah,
her trainers, and she takes it to that next level when we think she can take
she
it to
does.
that next level. She's not just giving up and going, oh well, this is just ridiculous and I'm not doing it anymore.
No, and she has this fabulous smile that lights up a
Oh,
room. Just,
does.
just absolutely amazing, amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
So well done, Diane. Big shout out to you, and big shout out to all of those ladies who are out there in the world getting it done, no matter what your age age is. So And that's what it's all about, is just keeping that body moving. So this week we started the week off talking about why New Year's resolutions don't work. And then we moved on to making sure that you got enough downtime. So you moved into getting that good quality sleep, because this time of year it could be that little bit crazy for you. And then we moved into staying on track during this holiday season. So, and I want to roll into a few more, let's call them self-awareness, self-care, self-love type tips today. And so I am going to start off with sleep, because I think that sleep at this time of year can be one of the things that actually goes by the wayside. So we stay up later to get things done, or we get up earlier to get things done, or we're thinking about everything we've got to get done. And so that sleep can definitely be compromised. So the first thing that I would say about sleep is that your going to bed time and your waking time is just as important as getting that 7 to 8 hours sleep. So don't compromise on those start and finish times. So you want to jump in with a tip around sleep?
If it's routine, keep it routine. So even if your sleep is routine, if you do go to bed at 10:30, you do get up at 7:30. 7:30. That's my mum. She's later. If you are getting up at 6:30, keep it at those times, even on the weekend.
Yeah, even on the weekend. Yeah, absolutely. Avoid the screen time as well too. So, make sure you get rid of your screens at least about an hour before you go to bed. The other thing is food and drink. That includes, your alcohol. Make sure that you've stopped that at least 3 to 4 hours before you go to bed. And what is going to help your digestive system is to actually either stand or get moving for a little bit after you have that final meal, final drink for the evening as well too. So that's going to help.
Yes. Keeping in mind
any other tips?
I just want to elaborate with the food. Keeping in mind, ladies, that with the food, if we're snacking after dinner, or we're having late meals, like especially at this time, if you're having Christmas catch-ups and you're having late meals, the reason for us saying 3 to 4 hours before going to bed is because if you're going out for dinner and then you're coming home and then 2 hours later you're going to bed, you're not using that food for energy. So it's not going to get broken down. It's not going to be used for energy. You're not going to be burning calories. So if your focus is keeping those numbers off the scales, I just keep that in mind.
Yeah, totally. The other thing is the environment, making your sleep environment a sleep environment, and just using all of those regular things that we do talk about, which is, dark room, cool room, et cetera, et cetera. I want to move on to moving more. And I think one of the things that can happen at this time of year is that our workouts can be put on the back burner. Because we are so often got things to do. And I know that we see ladies in the Strong Healthy Women community that, message and go, I'm coming to the 6 a.m. one today because I've got things to do. Or I got things to do, so I'm coming to the afternoon one today. So I love that I've got things to do terminology, as opposed to just that simple, I'm busy, because I think busy gets touted a little bit too much. So yeah, if you are someone who's got things to do, then, look at your routine, start planning and put in your workout or any type of movement where you can get it done. And as I mentioned before we started today, we've got the 12 minutes for 12 days happening right now in our free group, Women Over 50 Get Active and Healthy. So jump in there. It's a 12-minute workout. It's pretty easy. There's only 4 exercises. You don't have to really think about too much at all. So yeah, so think about jumping in there as well too. Sel, any other tips from you in regards to moving more?
In regards to those workouts that you're just talking about, the 12-minute workouts, change your mindset of thinking that you have to be working out for an hour, or even 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Anything is better than nothing. So these 12-minute workouts, You can join the 12-minute challenge, do your 12-minute workout, but then in the afternoon you might like to do another one because they are so quick and easy.
Yeah. The other thing that I was actually just thinking about, and I will go back and I'll put a link into the notes today as well too, is our Fit and 5 program. So our Fit and 5 is workouts that you can do that don't require you to find any more time. They're workouts that you actually do in your daily activities as well too. So I think that might be an absolute smasher to put up there for those ladies who are just going, no, it's just not possible. I'm not going to get that done. So I will put that up there as well too.
Yep.
If you I want to move into if you're someone who's working, or you might not be working, you might be doing volunteer work, or you could be at home, because a lot of us do spend quite a bit of time on our computer. So there's two things I want to think about: is having a hard stop time. So go, I'm getting off of this thing at this time. I'm not going past that. So, and commit to that, and don't go, oh, I just do this, or I just do that. Because I've been guilty of that so many times. And so now I do have a hard stop time, don't I, Sal? It's like, you girls might message me or email me after that time, and I don't see it till the next morning because everything's down. It's like all put away, and I do not even look at it. So then the other aspect of that is your posture checks. So because we are sitting at the computer, we're probably leaning forward. We may not be moving as often as we should be. And so we want to be conscious of, doing some backward stretches and then some forward stretches down to our toes, so that we got that movement happening through our spine and in our posture as well too. So anything you want to add on those two little things?
With that hard stop time, this time of year, some offices can be closing down, but you could be working from home over that Christmas period. So absolutely stick to a hard stop time. Because if you were in the office and your finish time was 5 o'clock, you'd walk out the door at 5 o'clock, and it would be, that can wait till tomorrow. So take that rule home with you, and that's the rule at home.
Yeah. Good point. Look, there's probably a lot of parties going on, a lot of entertaining going on. So therefore, there's going to be all this additional food. So you want to stick with that 80-20 rule. So try and be healthy 80% of the time, and then just try and avoid that mindlessness of, particularly if you're sitting at your desk and you're just, chewing away at something, snacking. And I know it's one of the things that Justine has highlighted in the Insiders. So I'm going to do a bit of a masterclass on that on Tuesday for them. Because one of the things that you mentioned, because we were talking about Christmas and what we thought was going to be our biggest obstacle, and you actually did mention yours, which was, do you want to just share your words? I loved your words. Can you remember what they were or not?
A free-for-all on Christmas Day.
Yeah, the free-for-all. That's it. I went back. I have my notes there. Yeah. So it was a free-for-all. And I did explain to Sal that a lot of that stuff actually comes down to, the behaviours that we've learned growing up. And I won't go into all the detail today, but basically, growing up for Sal or for growing up for me, one of the things that happened is we had to sit at the dinner table until we actually finished eating everything. Whether you liked it or not, you had to eat it all. And so we had this mindset that you do not leave anything on your plate. So therefore, if there is an abundance of food being spread out and on tap for us, then we're just going to keep eating, because it goes back down to that behavior that we have. And so one of the techniques that we talked about was, and I said to Sal, I don't know enough about your behaviors, but if, for example, you sat with, sister number 2 in a certain spot at the table, then change it up and go and sit with brother-in-law number 3 in a different spot in the table. Because what you're then doing is changing up that behavior, and probably just enough to just get you more consciously aware of what's going on. And that's all it takes, is just some tiny little small thing. So Sal's going to give that a go, aren't you, Sal?
I am going to give it a go. And I think too, we get in that mindset of it's Christmas Day, so, you know, I haven't had trifle all year, so I'm going to have 3 helpings of trifle. I haven't had, you know, the pudding. I don't like trifle, but that's just an example. You know, Christmas pudding. You know, Christmas pudding only comes out once a year, and I think that is where sometimes it can come in. That free for all thinking is, I only have it once a year, so it's okay. But, you know, Boxing Day, you're not feeling okay.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing to keep in focus as well too is when you have those free-for-alls, you're not feeling that good, and think about how other people actually need you. So, so if you're focusing on, if you're not feeling well, then you're not going to be able to help those other people that you want to help as well too. So that's another aspect of it as well too. I think thoughts can be a big issue for us as well too, at any time, not just this time of year. So we can be crazy going, okay, I've got this to do, that to do, that to do. Hey, get it out of your head, write it down. So, I mean, I have pages and pages of things to do. And you know, not just from a work perspective, from a personal perspective, I write it all down, because if I don't write it down, I will forget it. Too much going on.
And yesterday for me was a perfect example, because that was driving me nuts yesterday. So anyway, I hid a present, everybody, and I saw it Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't find it yesterday, and I think for about 3 or 4 hours I was at the stage where I was going to cry. And then I thought, I'll just unwrap this present and see if it's in there. And sure enough, I'd hidden it in a present that I'd already wrapped. And because everything has been so busy the past few weeks, I didn't even think about it. But that's what I had done. So great idea.
Here's the thing. Yeah, and the other thing is that you didn't slow yourself down long enough to take that deep breath. You didn't breathe. You just went into that straight panic mode. Oh my goodness, where is it? Whereas if you had gone, just sat with it for a bit, you probably would have gone, okay, let me retrace my steps. What did I do? And you would have come up with it.
Yeah.
But anyway, you got to that result.
I will share with everybody that I did do a wheelie bin dive, because I really thought I'd thrown it out. But it was hidden. I found it.
Paul has a really good, he does that. It's like, I'll just put the keys here, but doesn't remember where he puts them. Where did you put my keys? I don't know. Never gave them to me. Or where did I put that cash? I don't know. So, yeah, you think you're being smart when you hide things, but the reality is you're outsmarting yourself. I remember some years ago cleaning out a cupboard, and I found this it wasn't supposed to be white. It was a milk chocolate rabbit that had turned white because it'd been sitting there so many years. And I said, oh, look, this rabbit's rather cute. Now Paul went, oh, I wonder where I put that. That was right from 2-3 years ago that I'd actually bought that for you, and I hid it. So there you go. It's lucky that the mice didn't come in and eat it.
Yes.
So, yeah. I think that does actually lend itself to talking about meditation and just breathing. I think that's a good thing to do at this time of year, just sitting still, just giving ourselves that time to have those deep breaths and allow that busyness, that chaos to actually wash over us as well too, so to bring us back into that place of peace. And Sal and I are actually doing some accreditation at the moment. And so one of the things that I've been going back and forth on is that one of the exams that was due, and I wanted to do it yesterday. And there were a couple of questions there that I've gone back and forth and back and forth and back and forth on. And so this morning I just sat there in quietness, did a few little prayers around it, blah, 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 submitted it. and it's over and done with now. So it's off my plate, done. So I can move on to the next one. So, and I'm almost at halfway mark. So I'm officially sitting at 7 exams done, and there's 20 to do. So almost. I keep telling myself I'm almost halfway there. Yeah. So meditation and breathing. I think the other thing is to say no. So if you get asked to do things that just are not within the realm of possibility or are really, really going to stretch you, and you're not going to be able to get it done, say no.
Say no. Because
have you been practicing no?
No.
That's a no. That's a no on no.
And I've really been feeling it the past 2 days because I haven't been practicing it. And, you know, it gets to that point where you're like, I'm going to explode if one more person asks me something. And then that one more person comes along and asks me something and I go, yeah, okay.
Yeah. And well, look, I know from, go on, finish. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
I know from our perspective, from a work perspective, you know, you were going great guns on Monday. You've been, okay, I'm going to have this done on Monday. And I noticed like you've only just been doing it late last night. So you've been up trying to get it done. So obviously there's been so many other distractions in your life that have taken you away from it. So I can imagine just how frustrated you're feeling. But
and it's interesting that you say that, because this week, and I think last week and the week before as well, we were talking about Christmas and not letting the Christmas crazies get to you. And you know, it hit me last night that I had been letting the Christmas crazies get to me instead of sticking to what I'm doing and sticking to my routine and what I do during the week, and not letting those other influences. That it's very important to be aware of that sort of thing too.
Yeah, and it leads me to that next point, which is to prioritize. So, you know, if you are getting asked to do something, you know, learning how to say no is really important, but to actually think about what's my priority, you know, so what's my routine normally? You know, do I have scope to change that a little bit? And what are the priorities that I've got to get done? What's important to me here? So, yeah, that also helps as well too. I think that also filters into the stress factor as well too, because if we're not saying no and we're not prioritizing things and our routines are thrown into chaos, then what actually happens is stress starts to creep in. And so when the stress starts to creep in, it makes everything so much more worse than what it currently is. And then that means that just being able to get back on track is just super frustrating. And we just want to have that meltdown, that breakdown as well too, like you were feeling yesterday. You just want to cry because you can't find something. And that really is where that sit in the stillness, that meditation, that breathing is really, really important. And just the fact to give yourself that time down, you know, if it means like, and I will say this in my house, I don't know whether you say this in your house, but I will go, I'm going to my meditation pillow now. And so I shut the door and I just go and sit in the room. And the worst culprit is Ginger Megs, the cat, on the door. Let me in, because she just wants to come and sit and meditate. Yeah, she just wants to come and sit and meditate with me as well too. So, crazy cat. I think also just leading into that cell, setting boundaries is really important.
And this is where,
because you know you've got those young adults in your house. So, you know, they are focused on, you know, they're lovely people, you know, really, but they are going to be focused on what their needs are and what they want. So we can learn lessons from them, because it's like, no, I want to do this. And they drag you into, I want to do this. Whereas it's like, well, no, I want to do this. So come
Yeah.
back and talk to me in an hour's time, because then I'll be able to, talk to you about whatever it is that you want to talk about. But I want to go now. I want to meet my friends now. It's okay. Then walk up and jump on the bus if you want to go right now. But otherwise, I'll be with you in an hour. So yeah, clear boundaries is really important, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I've spoken about that before. We have we're that one person who is focusing on everybody's needs, and everybody is coming to us for their own individual needs. They're not focused on anybody else, just themselves.
Yeah.
And that's where
that
frustration and that, that I'm going to cry, and it's just, please just step back a minute.
Yeah. Just recently, and I was sharing this with the insiders, and I know you know all about this anyway, Sal, because you've been involved from when it started happening. Paul's just recently been diagnosed and with a particular autoimmune disease, and it means that he's in a lot of pain and can't move very well. It's also meant that he can't put his shoes on, he can't dry himself when he gets out of the shower, from his back down to his legs. It also means that he can't get his shirts on. He can't mix up the horse feeds. He can't pick up the horse buckets out of the big containers that they're in. All sorts of, little things that we take for granted that he's not able to do. And there's a whole list outside of those few things that I'm talking about right now. And so what it's meant is that he's now getting me to do those things. And I don't have a problem with doing those because I can prioritize them. So I'm just, moving the routine around to actually make sure I can fit those things in. But very, very quickly, when he said, can you come mix up the feeds? I said, I'm just finishing this off. And he said, well, why can't you do it now? Because I'm just finishing this off. I'm literally going to be 5 minutes away. You are actually going to take 5 minutes to walk down to those horse stables. So by the time you get down there, I can actually finish what I'm doing and run down there and still be down there by the time you're down there. So why don't you toddle off right now? And then we'll be there. And so, I'm not, whilst I'm more than happy to support him and help him because he is in so much pain, and, really give him the patience that he needs in order to help him, I'm also conscious that in order for me to stay strong, and that's physically and mentally, I need to take the time to recharge, and I need to set those boundaries around it. And so he's been really good. And last night he just said, when I got him into bed and, put on all these little massage machines and whatever else we've got going on, he said, I'm so, so blessed that I have you here. You're such a good woman. And I am a good woman. I'm gonna toot my own horn. Why not?
That's beautiful.
Oh, dear me. All right, Sal, do you have any final thoughts for the weekly wrap up?
Just slow it back, step it back, ladies. If you're feeling like I was feeling yesterday, step it back. Yeah, step it back.
Yep.
Learn to say
just
no,
like
set
that.
boundaries. Yeah. Recenter.
Yeah, absolutely recenter, ladies. That's entirely what you need to do. We shall be back on Monday for Monday Motivation. We're going to do Monday Motivation this week. So that's going to be a bit of fun as well too. So, all right, ladies, thanks for joining us today. We are over and out. Thanks for joining me, Sal. Love your nails as well too, by the way. They just seem to be glowing today. I thought they might have been a bit crazy. Yeah. All right, ladies, over and out, and we shall see you all on Monday. See you soon. See you, Sal.
Bye. Bye, Peter. Have a good Sunday.
Bye, everybody. You too. Bye. Bye.